Welcome to the Big Picture Podcast.
And action. Hi everybody, welcome to the Big Picture Podcast, and it's my pleasure to be talking today with Ryan Tubridy here in New Ross Library, where we've just done a really brilliant event talking about our book, Patrick and the President.
Yeah, sure.
So Ryan, thanks a million for doing
PJ.
The interview.
We're old friends now because we've been going around not only the country but the world. Talking about John F. Kennedy. In fact, the Kennedy family are thinking of taking an injunction out on me, such as the intense interest I've shown in this man since he died. Anyway, sorry, PJ.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. We've covered a lot of stuff today, but I would like to ask you, just as someone who's so well known for loving books generally, and children's books as well. Sure. You're promoting books all the time, but why are books so important?
I just feel that for children in particular, I always say, to try and simplify it a bit for kids, I always say that a child without books is like a plant without water, and it has the same effect in terms of nurturing the child's intellect, emotional intelligence and brain. And I always feel that we're in a library today and it's free. It's so democratic. Reading is very fair, and anyone can get their hands on a book. You don't have to come from any background in particular, or to be very educated. You just need to get into a library. Then every book is like a passport to another world. They're like portals to different places. And how can that not be interesting? How can you not be passionate about that? Learning new words, learning new stories, educating yourself about the world, other worlds, real worlds, unreal worlds, worlds built on poetry, worlds built on illustrations. I can't understand why people, how they don't get it. And I've decided in my own self-appointed, arrogant way to be evangelical in the need to recruit the next generation of readers. I just want to share something spectacular.
Yeah, I know. You want people to share the fun. I've had so much joy from books.
Yeah, of course.
Over years, I want people to share that. But
and you've given joy. I mean, like
I hope so.
We were here. People watching this won't have seen that people come up and they come in to see this book, sure, but they bring in your books from the previous. Books that you've illustrated in the last 2 centuries, and I'm delighted to see, and they say such nice things about your artwork because you've brought them, and oftentimes it's illustrated stories that act as an entree for children into the next step. I mean, we all read stories when we were children that were just pictures, and maybe a little bit of text. That's how you start. Yeah. You start with Mr. Men.
But there's something that happens when kids get into teenagehood.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have pictures in their books anymore.
Yeah.
And they feel they're more grown up if their books don't have pictures. I love there's an upsurge in interest in graphic novels.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Because visuals are always important. We've no problem reading movies. We read them visually.
Yes.
So I think it's great if people can continue their interest in pictures and words working together.
I agree with you entirely, and I think that people can be snobbish about, say, graphic novels, for example. They shouldn't be. The fact of the matter is if a child or young person is reading the back of a cereal box in the morning, I don't care, or an ad on the side of a bus, I don't care. Just keep reading. Yeah. And you're right about the teenage years are difficult because for a lot of, I don't want to write them all off teenagers, but just for a lot of them, the shiny trinket of the phone is a distraction. I don't want to be that old folk. It's like we know the argument. There are too many phones. You can have a phone and be on Snapchat and be on Instagram, and you can have a book. I mean, they have to coexist. But the difficulty is, I think we've seen a lot of it around the place, where you might, an adult goes, here's Ben, he loves reading, and here's his sister who's just gone off it. And that's tricky. But that's why we have to fill the houses with books at home.
Yeah, and they have to find the author that's right for them.
That's right.
And sometimes it could be an author who writes something that's kind of racy and page turning, and that gets that kid hooked on books. And I don't care what they're reading, as long as they're reading something.
Whatever gets you through that your reading interest, it shouldn't really matter what they've got in their hand once they have it. There's very few things as gratifying as seeing a young person and a child, I mean, really
Being absorbed.
absorb the book, because you know that they're going there.
Yeah.
And well, fair play to the writer or the illustrator, but definitely it's just lovely. It's a great site. It's important.
Listen, tell me about. I've heard your favourite book
Yeah.
is by Roald Dahl.
Yes.
If we put Roald Dahl
Yes.
out of the picture,
Yeah.
who else did you like when you were a kid?
As a child, I would have begun off with the likes of Enid Blyton and Roald Dahl, and then if you go into Enid Blyton, you develop from the children's enchanted tales and 6-minute stories and so on, and the Magic Faraway Tree, and then you make your way towards either the Famous Five or the Secret Seven. And I found that the world is divided into those who read Famous Five and those who read Secret Seven.
Yeah.
And I have not met somebody who read them both and says, no, I'm on the fence on this one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was a Secret Seven guy. That's the way it is. I thought the Famous Five were arrogant.
I was more of a Famous Five guy, but I didn't read that many of them.
Yeah,
to be
okay.
honest.
So
I think I've told you about my strange reading experience where I read the Narnia books.
Yeah, lovely.
I came to the end and I thought I'd never read anything as good, so I stopped reading for a long
yeah, I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
did you pick it up again though?
I did, in a big way, and it was often adventure books, maybe with a tinge of history, because that's. Listen, the book that we've done.
Yes.
We tried to bring history to life. with
Yes.
it. I know you've got a few other books rolling around in your head.
a few characters. in
Some
the
of them
head.
are going to be just good fun.
That's all they are, yeah.
A lot unlike this.
Yes.
Any other projects you got in mind?
No, I mean, the reality is, like, we did a talk. Remember, we did the talk in Kells, and I got into a big thing about the famine of all things, and somebody said that would be great. And then you think, God, could you imagine how depressing that book would be? And yet, you know, one of the biggest grossing films of all time is Titanic. You know,
Yeah.
that wasn't a happy
Misery
ending.
sells.
So in other words, but it's about bringing history alive again. So I would say that I've got goofy characters for sure in the back of the head that I'd love to see in a fun way coming out, just like to act the maggot, because as you know, I'm really a maggot disguised as an adult. And then the history road at some stage. But I have to say, with the late on the radio show that I do,
You're a busy man.
It's out the door. So
Well, look, Ryan, thanks so much for giving us
I enjoyed
the
talking
time
with
for the
you
interview.
every time. Yeah,
It's been a great pleasure.
it's great, and thanks for allowing me to
Thanks
talk
very
to you.
much.
All right.